The Starfish Story. One day, a man was walking along the beach when he noticed a boy picking something up and gently throwing it into the ocean. Approaching the boy, he asked, "What are you doing?" The youth replied, "Throwing starfish into the ocean. The surf is up and the tide is going out. If I don't throw them back, they'll die." "Son," the man said, "don't you realize there are miles and miles of beach and thousands of starfish? You can't make a difference." After listening politely, the boy bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it back into the surf. Then, smiling at the man, he said, "I made a difference for that one." The end. So I hope you enjoyed listening to that short story. I did not write that story, but it's one that we use at Royal Family, which is an organization I volunteered with. And I just really like the message of the story that though the problems can seem overwhelming and daunting, it does matter to that one. And that's kind of a idea of my organization, which is head to heart to hand. So as I mentioned, my organization's title is Head to Heart to Hand, or Triple H for short. So the goal of this organization is to rework neurological connections that have formed through trauma. The impact that I especially want to focus on within this organization is foster children, as they have experienced so many things that many of us can never dream of. The other goal is, though, we want to work through that kind of neurological connections that are formed due to early life trauma. We also want to make sure that every child we meet learns to love themselves and believe in their worth. I think that when you experience such horrible things as a child, it can often make you doubt your worth and value. And we want every child who walks through our door to recognize their innate worth and value, and that there is people who really care and love them. So in order to kind of rework these neurological connections and also instill worth, Triple H would provide free therapy for children who were in or are currently in the foster care system. And this therapy would utilize trauma-informed methods such as TBRI. TBRI is so, so cool. And I wish that more organizations and people were aware of it. I think it's really cool how at the baseline there's connection and relationship, and how it's really valuing a person for their worth, and noticing that behaviors are a reflection of what people have experienced, and it doesn't necessarily entail what they believe. So yeah, kids would get to come in and receive free therapy. So why should you care about childhood trauma? Well, childhood trauma is a leading cause of many societal problems, and gone unchecked can lead to mental health illnesses like anxiety and depression. I think that there's a kind of rising importance of mental health in our society, which is really cool to see it become destigmatized. And also recognizing that many kids who have experienced childhood trauma, especially those within the foster care system, may not graduate as a result of this. And also many young men especially end up incarcerated. And also it's important because kids are vulnerable and their emotional needs deserve to be met. We as adults often focus on kind of the physical needs of children, but their emotional needs also deserve attention. And as we have the power, it is our job to kind of, pave a way for them. So how does Triple H differ from other organizations out there? Well, there's a lot of organizations that are focused on meeting the physical needs. So like I had mentioned, maybe food, shelter, or removing kids from their original hardships or experiences that led to potential abuse and neglect. But Triple H would focus on the emotional needs of foster children. So the foster care system removes kids from their original harm, but it's through a very traumatic process, and also leaves them in a situation where they're in a new environment and they're with new people. And it can be really difficult to kind of bounce back from this. So Triple H would provide that emotional support to make sure that kids realize that we care about not only their physical safety, but that their needs are being met on an emotional level. So why would you want to support an organization like this? Well, we are the adults, and it is our job to advocate for children. As I've mentioned, we hold the power, so it's really important that we are making smart decisions for our kids as they are the future generations. And how? It's about speaking up about inadequacies within the foster care system and also through using your time to volunteer with organizations. I volunteered with Royal Family for 5 years now, and it's definitely the highlight of my summer and has changed my life. I now want to go work within the foster care system. And I think most of this was because I've been exposed to kind of the inequalities within the system and want to change that. So thank you for listening to my presentation. I also want to thank you for a great semester. I've really enjoyed it.